Hey guys, it's Jackie from Homeschool, Hangout, and Nerd Family. And if you have a grade school child or even a college student in the United States, there is a good chance you are homeschooling now. If that's you and you want a few tips of how to survive the coronavirus, or if your kid gets any other virus any other time, let's get to it. Let's talk about that. If you like these kind of videos and you're just visiting and you're not even a homeschooler and you're really interested, do me a favor, give this a thumbs up. And I'll make more videos through this little crisis to maybe help you through. Let's get into it. So first off, scheduling. You are not doing school at home. I know technically you are, but that doesn't mean it needs to look like school. So scheduling is up to you. Now, I will personally recommend that you still get your student up fairly early, just because if they only have 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off, and then you got to go back to that super early morning schedule, it's going to be a little hard. Now, I am not saying that if you normally have to get them up at 6 o'clock in order to have them on the bus by 7 and all that, you have to get up at 6 o'clock now. But I would stick to kind of an early-ish schedule. I wouldn't all of a sudden let them start sleeping until noon, or you're really going to be facing a challenge when school does start back up. Second thing, while you're technically doing school at home, you're not doing school at home, which means just because you would send them away for 6 hours does not mean you need to expect them to be doing schoolwork for 6 hours. You probably, if you have not received a list yet from your school, some schools are transitioning, you will, of the homework they expect them to get done. When the homework's done, they can be done. And if you need to take big breaks in the middle to help keep them focused, that's fine. They don't have to sit there for 6 hours. I know. I'm hearing you guys say, okay, but I'm working at home and I have stuff I need to get done for 8 hours a day. I understand there is a reason I have never been able to work full-time from home while homeschooling. I get it. All I'm saying is they don't need to sit at a table, which means if I were in your situation and how I did homeschool my elementary school kids especially, now they're in high school, they're pretty much on their own, I would say, okay, we're going to do math for 20 minutes, a half hour. And then you can go play for a half hour. You can give them a guided activity to do that you don't have to sit over. So don't think that either your choices are making them sit at the table and pretend to pay attention, or they're running wild, screaming through the house and you can't get anything done. There are other opportunities and options out there. Which brings me to like number 3 here. The Pomodoro method. If you've not heard of the Pomodoro method, it is a productivity method and I like it. I'm not saying there's lots of different versions of these kinds of things out there, and find the one that works for you. But it's kind of a timer method. So we're going to do this for 20 minutes. And then we're going to take a 5-minute potty break, drink break, stretch break, whatever. We're going to do 3 of these 20-minute sessions, and then we're going to take 15, 20 minutes off. This is something that works for adults when it comes to productivity. So how much more does that help with children? It's also very similar to, I'm going to set a timer and you guys are going to clean your room for 15 minutes. All of those versions, pick a method and kind of stick to it. Now, if you just want to say, we're going to do this until all your homework's done for the day, that's fine. If you want to do it longer, however you want to structure it. Remember, this is going to be new for a lot of you parents, but you're in charge. And I don't say that in any way belittling parents who send their kids to school, but meaning the kids are already used to somebody else setting out a daily schedule for them. That is your privilege. You don't have to do it the way the teachers did it. You don't have to have them in school for an hour and a half and then have a 20-minute recess. You can do it however you want. So pick a method, kind of lay it out so they know in some sort of sense what's going to happen. And so that's kind of my point 3 is pick a scheduling method, pick an attack. Kids do like structure, even those who are homeschooled. As much as they say, Mom, don't tell me I have to. No, they will appreciate it. I've seen out there on the internet, some people are saying, oh yeah, schedule your entire day so they know when recess and they know when lunch is. I'm pretty chill when it comes to that, and I find most kids can be, but a basic idea of what they're going to do. And use timers. Timers are great. 4th thing, you don't have to teach them everything. And I say this not just to the parents who are also trying to work, but the parents who feel tied to the school book. I haven't seen a ton of it yet, but I'm already starting to see, how do I teach them math? Or, they're so bored reading their history book. you don't have to stick to the book. You can find great documentaries online for specific history things. And I say this as in, my daughter didn't go to her college US history class on Friday because all they were going to do is show a documentary off YouTube, and she's going to turn some notes to show that she paid attention. If they can do that in college, why can't we do that in grade school? If a math concept is a bit challenging, you can look for other resources and references. Khan Academy has some great videos. Also, Kitchen Table Math has some great things. If you just need some worksheets, the math worksheet site will let you hone in specifically on what your student needs to work on. Whatever those subjects are, if you're hitting a wall of how to get your student to understand, or just, oh, they would have done a frog dissection and we are not doing a frog dissection in my kitchen, you can find a virtual dissection. You can find field trips. You can find all that stuff online for free. So you can educate them on what the school says they need to learn, but you don't have to just use the school's resources. There is nothing wrong with that. And the last thing, okay, so they've done their requisite worksheets. They took their little breaks. They had their lunch. It's 1 o'clock and they have nothing to do. And I don't just want them playing video games, which never downplay the importance of video games. We are the nerd family. We like video games. But I get that. We hit that same wall. There are lots of learning activities your children can do with and without you that can fill up their days. I've seen some homeschool moms go, well, teach your kids how to cook. And I understand if you are home working, you don't have time to teach them how to cook or teach them how to do laundry. But if you're taking a laundry break, take them with you and teach them how to do the laundry. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with good enough and all that stuff. But as far as educational things, there are lots of free things out there. This may be a great time for your kids to go to code.org and learn how to program something for fun, or watching various museum tours that they never get time to watch if they were in school. There are lots of those resources out there where your child can still be learning. They can watch a movie based on a great book. I know the movie is never as good as the book, preaching to the choir, but it's a great introduction to something that they may not quite be mature enough to read on their own. So there are lots of resources out there of things you can give your children to do to get them out of your hair, and they still learn. I also have, and I have on my blog, and I'll try to remember to link it down here. If not, ask me in the comments. I have like 10 math games with a deck of cards. Especially if you don't have an only child, they can keep each other busy. Don't worry, you got this, mom and dad. This is what I tell all homeschool parents normally. These are your children. You taught them how to use a toilet. You taught them how to walk and talk. Sometimes we regret teaching them how to talk, but we taught them how to do this, and you've got this. Just take a deep breath. It's more about the relationship than the information. Even to the point that, frankly, if they gave your kid way too many worksheets and you're over it, especially if they're in elementary school, this isn't going to stop them from getting into college if they don't have it all done. You'll be okay. I promise. If you have any questions, if there's any subjects you need help with, or just things to keep them out of your hair you need help with, let me know down in the comments. Find me over at the Nerd Family Facebook page or Nerd Family on Twitter, and I will talk to you guys later. Happy quarantines!